And thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. I'm John Huddleston. The University of Alabama men's basketball team is set to make their first NCAA tournament appearance in 6 years tomorrow. And local businesses are hoping the March Madness will draw out a crowd to watch the game despite a traditionally slow week, spring break. WVUA's Travis Leader with our story tonight.
Some local sports bar owners find refuge in March Madness, even when students leave town for spring break.
Certainly increases the lunch business. A lot of it is based on who's playing, which games are going on.
Although the crowd hasn't come in quite just yet, local business owners are saying when the tide hit the hardwood Friday afternoon, business will definitely pick up.
Now I imagine tomorrow afternoon at 12:40 when Alabama's playing, then our lunch business will really be increased. As they advanced in the tournament and got better seating and bigger games, and it's been great. The year that we knocked off #1 Samford.
Free throw, does it go? Stanford's got a chance. Can Lightning strike again? Robinson for Grunfeld. Jumper on the way. No good! A shocker! A stunner in Seattle.
It was tremendous in here. It was like a football atmosphere.
But the madness may bring scheduling nightmares at the same time.
We'll certainly staff more people, which is always a challenge during spring break because most of our staff is our students.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
And tip-off is set for 12:40 tomorrow afternoon. Later on in Home Team Sports, Gary Harris has Coach Anthony Grant and the Tide's comments from today's pregame press conference. Meanwhile, in other news tonight, one Tuscaloosa convenience store may have new life in its efforts to sell liquor. JD's Food Mart on Bryant Drive near the UA campus was originally denied its liquor license by the Tuscaloosa City Council, but now Councilman Kip Tyner tells us he is reconsidering his original no vote. Tyner plans to request the city attorney to allow the council to reconsider. Some council members originally said no because they were wary of the marriage of a convenience store with a package store. JD's has already renovated to make its facility make room for the new inventory before the council rejected their plans. Well, spring is upon us with record-breaking temperatures out there this week, but for what to expect later on, here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Richard.
Hey, John, good Thursday evening to you. Still mild tonight. This 10 o'clock hour, 70 in Birmingham, 66 in Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, 67 back in Tupelo, 70 in Memphis, Tennessee. No rain out there across our immediate area. Some shower storms still happening across the Tennessee Valley, North Alabama. Looks like Winston and Marion counties getting a little bit of rainfall activity now. Most of the activity will stay north of us tonight, and we remain dry. And our forecast for our Friday, a passing shower or storm is possible as we approach 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And through the evening hours, same deal. Temperatures going to top out in the 80s, around 84 tomorrow afternoon. Another day where we could tie or break some records. How long is this warm stretch going to last? And what about your weekend forecast? Weather is coming up.
With temperatures rarely going below the freezing mark this winter, you may be noticing an influx of insects and other pests around your home. WVUA's Jennifer Edwards has more on this and advice on keeping you and your family safe this spring.
With the warm weather here, people are eager to get out of the house and enjoy the sun. According to Tuscaloosa County Extension Agent Neil Hargel, the mild, wet winter we've had is causing an influx of insects like mosquitoes.
With it being so mild, these insects have been able to keep going all year long. So as they go on all year long, they're able to reproduce all year long. So there's never a drop or a lull period where they're not reproducing, keeping the insect numbers high.
Hargel says it's people that spend a lot of time outside and in the garden that need to take extra precaution against insects, and the sooner the better.
The biggest thing we have is West Nile virus. That's what you've got to watch for. They're a carrier of West Nile virus. And that's the thing about getting these insects early, such as mosquitoes, because once it gets so hot, it's just hard for people to be out there and try to control them. It's a lot easier now when we're in 70-degree temperature.
Hargel says there are insecticides, bug sprays, candles, and even bacteria called BT that you can buy to keep the bugs away. Purple martin birds also eat mosquitoes. Justin Irvin with Acker Hardware says ants are also a problem he's seeing with his customers.
Early infestation of fire ants in their lawns, and that's normally something that takes place in April and May when they start taking care of them, and it's usually definitely in the heat of the summer months. I have almost sold all of my ant poison that I got in the level that I keep this time of year.
Hargel says we are 3 weeks ahead of what we would normally see this time of year. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Jennifer Edwards, WVUA News.
Hargel also tells us he has also seen a few snakes out recently, which is also earlier than normal. And this warm weather has many folks wanting to get outside and get into the garden, but it is still too early to start planting even with the warm temperatures. Experts recommend keeping plants indoors until early April. One cold night could kill plants if they're not covered up. When the weather gets warm, homeowners also want to start cutting their grass. That's okay. You just have to be careful when it comes to fertilizing it.
With all this warm weather, our grass is greening up earlier. And the biggest problem with grass greening up or the transition is if you put any kind of herbicide or fertilizer on that grass right now, you take a chance of that grass being stunted or hurt. And that can last through the growing season.
It's also a good idea to keep vegetable plants covered in a garage, carport, or shed until early April as well. Well, there will be a new face on the Tuscaloosa County Board of Education come next term, and the Republican who knocked off the incumbent, John Hinton, hopes that he is the next choice. Meet Gary Mims, a retired county school board employee who in a landslide defeated Hinton in the GOP primary. Mims hopes to win the seat in the general election and help the county schools climb out of the current financial crisis. He also has some thoughts on who the qualifications current board members should look for when it comes to selecting the system's next superintendent.
The key decision is hire the right person for this school system, a person that is proven that they can work with the parents, work with employees, work with the community.
Mims will take Hinton's seat on the school board, barring a successful challenge from an independent challenger in November. Well, you may soon see changes when it comes to knocking out a cold. The Alabama House has passed a bill requiring certain cold medications to only be sold in pharmacies. Those drugs are the ones that contain ingredients that can be used to make meth. The popular medication Sudafed is in that group. The bill also limits the amount of the medication a person can buy. The bill now goes to the Senate for debate. Where your food comes from could affect your health. According to the new studies by the CDC, disease outbreaks from imported foods were up in 2009 and 2010. Imported fruits and vegetables are on that list of the items implicated in these outbreaks. Salmonella infection was the most common cause of the disease, followed by histamine poisoning from fish. Now, histamine poisoning happens when fish is improperly chilled after it's caught. The CDC says it's too early to say if these numbers represent a trend. Attention veterans, the happiest place on earth wants to put you to work. The Walt Disney Company has launched a new initiative to train and hire war veterans. It's called Heroes Work Here. Disney says it plans to provide at least 1,000 jobs and career opportunities for returning U.S. veterans over the next 3 years. Jobs will be available across all segments of the company, including Disney theme parks and television stations.